Hello friends, a great welcome to my channel. Today we will talk about Adrienne Rich, and we have already covered the poetry and Jennifer's Tigers. The same poetry all of you must have covered in your class 12th as well. Today we will talk about snapshots of a daughter-in-law. We will not talk much about her because in the previous video on Jennifer's Tigers we have already talked a lot about her. Adrienne Cecil Rich, American poet, essayist, feminist, one of the most widely read and influential poets of the second half of 20th century, was credited with bringing the oppression of women and lesbians to the forefront of poetic discourse. These are the major 3 points along with her lifespan that you should learn about her. As I told, Adrienne Rich was a great feminist, and that is the reason most of her poetries do reflect this viewpoint of hers. Adrienne Rich's provocative feminist poetry Snapshots of a Daughter-in-Law examines various parts of a woman's life that are marred by suffering and male exploitation. In Aunt Jennifer Tigers also you have experienced the same thing, that male exploitation was there. In this poetry also we will see the same. The term itself alludes to abandoned, disorganized images of women. You can see the title, Snapshots. Different images of a female's life are shown here. Snapshots of a daughter-in-law, who is mostly associated with the son in order to highlight the status of a woman who has rarely lived as an autonomous daughter but as a dependent daughter-in-law. So when you are just a daughter, before marriage you are very autonomous, but as soon as you get married you kind of seem to be dependent, or at least your in-laws want that you should be dependent upon them. Adrienne Rich purposefully used daughter-in-law other than sister or daughter or any other figure because daughter-in-law is in the society most oppressed. The major topic is a modern woman's anxiety about her life. The poetry is told from a third-person speaker's point of view and is divided into 10 sections, each with a different amount of lines and stanzas. सबसे पहले देखकर ऐसे लगता है जैसे हमारी स्पीकर किसी एल्डरली विमेन के साथ बात कर रही है, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली द मदर इन लॉ ऑफ द अदर younger women in the home. So the speaker is talking to the older one and the younger one is of course the daughter-in-law. The two women are referred to in the poem as you and she. When our speaker talks to the mother-in-law, she refers you, and when she talks about daughter-in-law, she refers she, respectively, yet neither of the two converses with the speaker. स्पीकर से कोई बात नहीं कर रहा, बट हमारी स्पीकर एड्रेस कर रहे हैं इन दोनों फीमेल्स को. The speaker of the poem begins by reminding the mother-in-law of her youthful fantasies and desires. She tries to make her recall कि when you were in this age, were you not full of fantasies? Were you not full of desires? Part 2. The mother-in-law in current law's behavior is revealed in the second stanza. Now mother-in-law is a mother-in-law. Once she was a daughter-in-law क्योंकि सास भी कभी बहू थी. But she has had many experiences with marriage that have destroyed her premarital ideals, and as wise, she is uncaring about her daughter-in-law's descent into a life of adversity. All that she may be faced in her life, she is trying to impose the same slavery over her daughter-in-law now. In the third section of the poem, the daughter-in-law is depicted in bed like an item, like an object, to satisfy her husband's bodily hunger, sexual hunger. So-called social conventions and superstitions are all around her. Everything, you have to follow this, you have to maintain the honor of the family, you have to keep your husband satisfied always, and you have to work for your husband, you have to do this, you have to do that. She tries to evade the forced suffering, but she fails because everyone around her is after her. Part 4. Despite having a close relationship, the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law do not respect each other and instead engage in disagreement with the intent to harm one another. Both of them actually are the daughter-in-laws of the family, but maybe they are fighting with each other. They have got the same tormentations from the society, and no one but each other they do have to take out that frustration. Not only in India, but I think in every part of the world, since birth, women are always shown that you have to look beautiful. The environment in which women is infatuated with beauty and modesty is criticized in part 5. Something similar was done by Mary Wollstonecraft also in her very popular writing Vindication. She also raised a question why women are brought up in such a manner that you have always to look beautiful. The existence of women is constrained in the world where she can be just a showpiece and a beautiful thing. Part 6 tells us that. Part 7. The women's rights have been so severely curtailed that singing her own song requires us to steal even the lyrics and the melody from men. Even if she wants to sing something, although this has been said metaphorically, not related only to singing, even if she wants to sing something, she has to follow the lyrics given to her by her husband, by the men, by maybe anyone, by the father, by the father-in-law, by the brother, by the brother-in-law, or by the husband. But she cannot make her own lyrics. वीडियो का फीडबैक मुझे कमेंट्स में ज़रूर दें. Let us go to part 8 now. Here, the writer laments the loss of women's power and language, saying that they are only physically present and not spiritually because they are not at all able to, or they are not at all made by the society in such a way that they can express their viewpoints. So, their body is present but their mind is curtailed. Women, a weak burdened cage that feeds on woos and is ultimately buried under them. Rich angrily exhorts the daughter-in-law to lead a revolutionary active life. So not only this daughter-in-law Rich is exhorting, but she is maybe exhorting all the females of the world who do not lead an active life. They should be revolutionary. They should fight for their rights. She spends her entire effort on an allocated domestic task since love keeps her at home. Love, sacrifice, and do everything just for your family. You have to dedicate yourself to your family. These things are programmed in females since their birth, and for the sake of all these 3 to 4 words love, dedication, sacrifice they keep on working for their families the whole life without thinking even a single percent about their own viewpoint. Although things are changing these days, I'll say, but with a very slow pace. And let us see the part 10. The last question of this stanza is rhetorical, as the speaker asks the daughter-in-law if only she, not her husband, has been shown household books by the nature, not only by the nature but by our elders as well. Always and always we are told, the females are told कि you have to take care of the household, and the speaker is asking the daughter-in-law कि is it in your name only all the responsibilities, all the duties to carry the honor of the family, not for husband, nothing for the husband, no rule for the husband, only you. Why don't you become revolutionary? Although this question is rhetorical as no answer is expected. This question asserts on the equal responsibility of man and women. So the basic theme by now, whatever we get from this poetry, is that the young woman who is mindful of the barriers that limit her and the other women is the poem's main character, that is the mother-in-law. Her sense of limitation, helplessness and subdueness gradually give way to a desire for change. Now, everything has been, all the tradition has been passed on from mother-in-law to daughter-in-law. Daughter-in-law can feel that oppression and maybe she will raise her voice very soon. So that is it from this part of the video. We have covered 2 poetries by Adrienne Rich. One is Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, another is this one which we just completed. You may join the classes to cover all the topics in detail. Can click the link in description to get connected to us for admission. Thanks for watching. Best of luck for exams. Please do not forget to share and subscribe the channel and provide your valuable feedback in comments.